In some few days ago, we read it on the pages of newspapers, social media, and the rest. Nigerians shouting, complaining about a video clip. A clear display of high level, the highest level of immorality in our land. Boys, girls of 13, 12, 14 years old engaging in illicit sex. Then we started complaining. We have already moved close. That is why it is easy for them to cross the line.
Nuurul-islam, reviving the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Almighty Allah will warn us that don't wait until you are near the limit. It's far, far better for you not even to move close to the limit. Now tell me, if you are not close to the limit, will you ever cross it? If you are not near that line, red line, is it possible for you to mistakenly cross it? It is not. Stop deceiving yourself. A lot of people will commit sins. They will say, oh, Allah is shaitan. Oh, Allah, I didn't know. You knew by moving close to the line. And Almighty Allah is telling you, do not even move close. Fala taqrabuha. If we have heeded this lesson, we will save ourselves. Do not even move close. In moving close to the line, there is possibility. There is high tendency of mistakenly crossing it. And if you cross it, you are in trouble. So why not just listening to the warning of your Creator by not moving close to the line? I said it is not only in this verse that Almighty Allah is mercifully telling us this. In some other verses like that. Look at when Almighty Allah intends to warn us not to commit adultery or fornication. In the same way, the expression is similar. فَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا. لَا تَقْرَبُوا. Do not move close near zina. The intention is for you not to commit zina. No doubt about that. The intention is for you not to commit zina. But out of the mercy, the kindness of Almighty Allah, is even advising us that, no, look, it's better for you not to even move close. Because if you move close, there may be tendency, there may be temptation, there may be inducement for you to cross the line. So the lesson we are taking from these, dear listeners, Muslims, brothers and sisters, is that please, let us heed this call. Try as much as possible not to move close to those limits set by Almighty Allah. You are better off. Because as I said, if you do not move close to the line, there's no possibility of crossing it. There won't be any possibility of mistakenly crossing it. But if you have been careless, you have been negligent, moving close, every day human beings are moving closer and closer to sin. Then when you commit the sin, you will now be blaming Shaitan. That God has destined it to be. Stop deceiving yourself. That's why I said Quran has detailed rules of everything. In what better way can it be put? Don't move close to zina. You know, by the time you yourself tune your television set to some channels that you know that what you see there will induce you to have illicit sexual intercourse. Don't you know that you are moving close? By the time you allow your eyes to be looking at ladies moving naked or half naked, don't you know that you are moving close? Close your eyes, lower your gaze. Al-Quran tells you that. فَلَا تَقْرَبُوهَا. Do not move close. In some few days ago, we read it on the pages of newspapers, social media, and the rest. Nigerians shouting, complaining about a video clip. A clear display of high level, the highest level of immorality in our land. Boys, girls of 13, 12, 14 years old engaging in illicit sex. Then we started complaining. We have already moved close. That is why it is easy for them to cross the line. As I said it, a society, a country that celebrates Big Brother Niger should have no moral ground to complain about such a video. We have already moved very, very close. For years, that has been displayed for young and old. They were seeing it. You don't want them to put into practice. If you learn any art, anything, you would like to practice it. That is what is happening. If we have listened to Almighty Allah, that will never happen. Block that means it has become even a general principle of Sharia. Allahu Akbar. Ulama have devised a principle of Sharia from this verse and others. What do they call that principle? Shaddu Dhariya. Shaddu al-Dhariya. Usually in the Maliki school in particular. It's a very popular principle of Sharia. What does it mean? Please block the means to haram before you get to that place. Block the means. Blocking the means. Blocking the means is exactly what is being said here. فَلَا تَقْرَبُوهَا. Do not move close to the limits of Almighty Allah, to the boundaries, to the red lines. Else, you may cross them, and crossing them is dangerous. So if you don't want certain things, we must never do certain things. That's a lesson for us as Nigerians, generally. When we have prepared a ground for something, and when it arrives, then we start crying. What kind of a people are we? فَلَا تَقْرَبُوهَا. Don't move close to those limits. In that verse that we cited, لَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا, fornication, illicit sex, adultery. Allah warned us, don't move close. If you allow indecent dressing, you allow indecent show to be freely displayed, you are moving close. You are moving close. And crossing the limit will be the easiest thing. If you are already on the edge, you have moved very, very close to the limit. So in Sharia, in Islam, we even have that principle that says, look, sometimes you may have to even move away from something that is originally permissible if there is possibility of it leading you to what is prohibited. It is in the spirit of not moving close, the same spirit of not moving close. In an authentic hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, he further amplifies this. The Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Inna al-halala bayyinun, wa inna al-harama bayyinun, wa baynahuma umurun mushtabihat, wa fi riwaya mushabbahat." He said, all of us is clear. Halal is clear, is distinct from haram, unless you are deceiving yourself. We all know if you are a Muslim of 1 year, of 2 years, of 10 years, of 20 years, you must have known certain things that are clearly halal. And you must have known that certain things are clearly haram. Halal of Almighty Allah is clear. Haram of Almighty Allah is also clear. But as I always say, Islam is a religion that identifies with you as a human being. It doesn't treat you as an angel. It talks to your nature, identifies your weakness, but gives you the solution to your problem. Set for you what could be precursors, what could be signals for you before you get to the danger zone. Unless if you are reckless, you are negligent, you are careless, you cross all those warnings, all those precursors, then you move in. In this hadith, identifying with the nature of human beings, the Prophet said it clearly. Yet, halal is always clear. Haram is always clear. But to some people, to many, even in this hadith, he said, kafirun. To many, there will be gray areas. There will be gray areas. What do we mean by gray areas? Not too white and not too black. Not too clear. Is it halal? Is it haram? We have issues like that. Then what do you do in such a case? Fala taqrabuha. That is the solution. Halal, move, in fact, run to halal. Haram, run away from haram. Because it is clear. This is what Allah wants. This is what He doesn't want. But the Prophet is telling us clearly, identifying, recognizing our nature as human beings. That despite that, you may have gray areas between the two extreme ends. You are not sure in this situation. You may find yourself in such a situation. You don't have a scholar around you to ask, oh, is it halal? Is it haram? You are in doubt. What do? You commit the act, then ask? That's recklessness. The answer, the solution is فَلَا تَقْرَبُوهَا. Don't move close. The Prophet in this hadith said, فَمَنِ اتَّقَى الشُّبُهَاتِ وَقَدْ اسْتَبْرَأَ لِدِينِهِ وَعِرْضِهِ. If you want to preserve, you want to save, you want to protect your religion and your dignity as a human being. That is how it is put in that hadith. In Islam, not only your religion must be preserved, even your dignity as a human being must be preserved. Then to preserve the two, when you are in doubt, the solution for you is to wait, not to move closer. So please let us note this. It's very, very important in guiding our thoughts, in guiding our acts. That if you have a gray area, why going to that gray area? Stop until you have a clear picture. So this is what Almighty Allah is telling us here. فَلَا تَقْرَبُوهَا. These are the limits set by Almighty Allah. And the solution for you not to mistakenly cross those limits is not even to come close to the limit. كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ آيَاتِهِ. In this way that we have all listened to for 3 days now, we have been on this verse in details. That is how Almighty Allah explains يُبَيِّنُ. يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ آيَاتِهِ. He explains, He amplifies His verses for us, His instructions, His injunctions, His instructions to us. Why? لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَّقُونَ. So that we may become pious. So that we may become conscious of our duties and obligations. That's the essence of all these lengthy and full and detailed explanation.
Hit the like button here. Bákan náà kẹ́ tẹ subscribe button. Lẹ́yìn náà kẹ́ wá tẹ all láti ra àwọn videos wa tuntun mi. Lẹ́yìn náà kẹ́ share video yẹn. Kọ́lọ́run bá kó bá wa san yín ní ẹ̀san lóore. JAZAAKUMU khairan.